Brush of the week. It's probably the worst out of the four, if I'm being completely honest. Heck, I argued that Sprout of the week was better, and Sprout of the week was actually the reason why Sprout of the week was bad was because the tune didn't get any changes outside of the render chain. Twisted didn't really get any changes outside of an AI happening. The trinket was completely unchanged, and the tune is just situational. Yeah, they didn't really do anything for Sprout of the week outside of fortunate game passing off base and giving us a golden skin. I will admit though, Golden Sprout's golden skin is really good. Yeah, also Chef Sprout's also really good too. Then we got Fin of the Week, which nobody liked the golden skin, but the skin that cost him Robux was really good, and his trinket got reworked, though his trinket still kind of sucks. And he also got a buff to his ability, although I don't think that 2% speed buff is gonna do anything. And then we got Tissue of the Week, which in my opinion is probably the best one of the three. The golden one isn't that great, but like this skin is just so good. And even though the trinket didn't really get any changes, Tisha got buffed, and now she's actually really good if there's a Icor leak. And then Twisted Tisha is an actual threat now outside of the stalling. Twisted Tisha can make the Icor leaks bigger. So having Tisha would be really helpful. Now on to Brusha, who in my opinion is probably the worst one of the four. Now, yes, Brusha has one of the better golden skins, and Messy Canvas is also a very good Robux skin because, well, she looks like she just survived the Artist War, if I'm being honest, but, her trinket, did it get any changes? Okay, so the trinket did get changes. It used to increase the skill check size and chance by 5%. Now it increases skill check size and chance by 10%. So basically, it replaces... Oh no, they had to... Okay, so what they did is they buffed Partition Pacing Award, just so Paint Bucket wouldn't completely overshadow it. Decreases skill check size by 10%, but increases skill check chance by 25%. So, I actually didn't notice this when I made the Brush of the Week update video. But yeah, as Brusha receive a 25% speed boost for 5 seconds after a successful machine buff. Okay, I gotta talk about the ability. Brusha got an ability change, but I'm just gonna be honest when I say this, it still sucks. While I can 100% say it's better than the old ability, her new ability still sucks. I mean, like, to be fair, a 25% is skill check increase of size, then got buffed to a 50% increase of skill check size. Both of them just sucked. This one is better, but it still sucks, because instead of buffing tunes, she buffs machines now, which... How does buffing a machine work? But all you did is draw all over the machine. Now, yes, this does inspire other tunes to give them a higher chance of getting a skill check and also extracting machines faster, but, well, here's the problem. You gotta waste 3 seconds buffing the machine, so it's not worth doing it at all if you're gonna just do the machine anyways. Compare that to Squirm, where eating the book to get a 100% extraction for 10 seconds is always a good idea. Almost always a good idea for Squirm, but like for Brusha, it just doesn't make sense why you do that. On top of that, 25% extraction is basically nothing. I mean, like, and I argue the extraction candies are better. And like, you can stack 3 extraction candies together, 4 of them if you're playing as Bassie, and then you can just use Koka's trinket to make it last 9 seconds instead of 5 seconds. Or you could just play Yato, where you just get a ton of extraction candies. So like, that's just not worth it. Wasting 3 seconds just to get a 25% extraction boost. And then for the 15% skill check, buddy, just use participation award if you want a higher skill check chance. Especially since the participation award, which I didn't know, got buffed. Also, again, if you want a higher skill check chance, just use Paint Bucket or Participation Award. Heck, use both if you want to. That gives you a 35% skill check chance increase, which makes 50% just very pitiful. Yeah, I'm just gonna say this. The ability sucks. It's just not worth it using. 25% extraction is nothing. And then for 15% skill check, like I said, you can just use trinkets to just do better. And I just gotta point this out. Because they changed her ability so that it doesn't have that ring effect like Bobette, no joke, they made Toy Kit worse. If your tune has a ring-based aura ability, increase the radius by 25%. This only used to work on Brusha and Bobette, but now it only works on Bobette because they changed Brusha. Because of this, they made Toy Kit even more worse. So it's probably the worst trinket in the game now. Really hope they can fix that during the Christmas update. And then, like I said, Brusha's ability still sucks and it still needs a buff in my opinion. Like, what are you gonna do? Just go to every machine and start buffing them? You're kind of just wasting time at that point, especially if you don't have a lot of people on it. And also, why is the cooldown at 15 seconds? 15 seconds is such a small cooldown. Like, you can use the ability almost immediately if you use a trinket like Snakes in a Can, and then if you pick the 2 cars to reduce to reduce the cooldown by 5 seconds. Which means you can basically do it instantly, since you can decrease it from 15 seconds to like no seconds. And then combine that with the Ginger Trinket, where you get 30 stamina every time you use your ability. I mean, that's incredibly broken, and it makes me question if anyone even bothered testing the rework. Because, like, it's incredibly broken with a cooldown that small, but it's, like, incredibly broken, but it's incredibly useless for stats that low. I think they should increase the stats to, like, a 50% extraction speed, a 25% skill check increase, but then they should balance it out by having the cooldown, like, be, like, 60 seconds. I think that would make her actually good. Because, again, the stats don't do much, and the cooldown is way too short. But yeah, this is why I think Breath of the Week is the worst tune of the week currently going on, even worse than Sprout of the Week, probably. Also, this quest, visit the Art Gallery floor 3 times. That's another RNG quest, by the way. I argue encountering Sprout 3 times is easier because you know the main chances increase every 5 floors and stuff like that, and you know there's only 5 mains in the game, plus you can just wait for it to be Sprout Week or whatever. But like Art Gallery, you can't do anything to increase that. You can't, like, going further down the floors does not increase that chance, and there's no, like, floor of the week or anything like that, so this RNG floor is even worse than, you know, encountering Sprout 3 times, which, again, just makes me feel like this tune of the week is worse than Sprout of the Week, and Sprout of the Week was the worst one, with Tish of the Week probably being the best one. And in my opinion, Fin of the Week was probably the second best one. And then there's complete 20 machines buffs using artistic inspiring, and I kind of think that quest only exists just to force people to use Brush's ability. I also like to point out that Twisted Tisha got reworked, so not only can she make Ico Leaks 25% bigger, but she can also clean the machines, which this is both good but also bad. It's good because this means if a Twisted Brusha debuffs the machine, a Twisted Tisha can actually help you out. However, if you buff the machine, both Twisted Tisha and Twisted Brusha can just remove the buff, except Twisted Brusha not only removes the buff, but also applies the debuff, while Twisted Tisha just removes the buff. So it kind of just shows why, another reason why Brusha's ability kind of just sucks, because not only does it not do anything significant for the game still, which is why it still sucks, but it has like 2 counters to it, both which are commons, by the way. So it's very likely they will appear. So yeah, if I'm being honest, like, Brusha's ability is kind of just high maintenance and does not give you much rewards for that high maintenance, which is why I think it sucks. Even though it's better, it still sucks. She needs a buff to her ability. And like I said, I question if they even bothered balancing. I'm not even mad at Brush anymore for, like, you know, being egotistical and prideful or anything like that. No, I'm not mad at her. It seems like no matter what they do, they can't ever do Brusha correctly. Her ability sucked at launch, and her trinket sucked at launch. Her ability still sucked even after a buff, and even after a rework, it still sucks. I will say, though, her trinket is probably better now. I mean, but probably, because, like, it's not 5%, it's 10%. So a 10% skill check size might actually make a difference compared to a 5% in skill check size. And I guess the 25% speed boost for 5 seconds could be helpful. It could, but then again, I still think it's situational. While Brusha's new ability is kind of just a thing to do, but like nothing really beneficial. It's kind of just a minor thing. The only way I can see this ability being useful is if you have a distractor and you only buff the machines if someone's already on it. But then again, if someone has a Val or V remote, then you kind of just wasted your ability on that machine, which is kind of another reason why Brusha just sucks. I'm sorry, like, Brusha, I've been giving her a lot of crap, and I'm starting to feel bad for how much crap I give her, because her golden skin is really good, and Brusha's design is also decent, and, you know, her trinket doesn't completely suck anymore, and it's actually somewhat decent, but, like, it's like there's always something that sucks about her, and I just hate that. This is why I argue I should be a balancer for the team, because at least I could balance the game really good, and yeah, this is why the people questioned if the Denny's will had any testers. Yeah, this is just my opinion though, so if your opinion is not the same as mine, then I completely understand, but yeah, I did not like Brusha of the Week. I only did it just because I wanted the gold skin, and I'm not gonna really play as Brusha anymore. I might occasionally play as Brusha, but not anywhere as much as playing as Tisha or Sprout or Finn. But like, I don't really want to play as Finn that much, and because he's still got nothing really interesting in Brusha. Well, I've already explained why I don't want to play Brusha. Tisha, like I said, at least she's good for the Ico Leagues, and Sprout, well, he's a healer, and sometimes you just want to play the healer. Talking for so much, almost everyone in this entire server just left. But yeah, this is my whole opinion on why I think Brusha of the Week kind of sucks. Yeah. And yeah, like I said, don't harass me or anything like that. But like, you know, this is my opinion, and yeah, I've already mentioned like all my problems with it. The skins, again, are nice, but it's just the gameplay element that they can't ever seem to get correct with Brusha. Plus, the paint bucket speed boost only works on Brusha. The skill check chance only works on others. Yeah. Maybe they could make it so Brusha's ability could increase not only the chance, but also the size. by 25%, and then the extraction by 50%, but like to compromise, make the cooldown like 60 seconds or something, or 45 seconds or 30 seconds, because again, there was a, because again, I think 30 seconds. You know why? I was gonna say 60, but then I remembered Twisted Brusha and Twisted Tisha, so yeah, make it 30 seconds. So yeah, that's my opinion on Brush of the Week. I did it, but I didn't like it. I'm sorry. Goodbye.